Hiya friends, Prepared Suburbanite back at you. Today is Friday the 23rd of September, and autumn has finally arrived here in North Carolina. Absolutely refreshing. The dew points are in the 40s, and it's so cool and crisp it's actually fall again. That's the good news. If you've been watching the stock market, if you've been perusing the headlines, things don't look good, and I hope that you're all prepared or are preparing right now for what's coming. I've got a few things to bring to light, so stick around. As I normally do each morning, I go on the internet, I check local news, I check a few of my favorite internet websites and some of the other media outlets so I can be appraised of what's going on. And I landed on this one particular website today, which I generally hit 3 or 4 times a week, and it's the shtfplan.com website. I'll make sure that I'll put the link down in the description down below. But the headlines I found were horribly disturbing. So, first up, warning. Serbian president says there will be a great world conflict within 2 months. Second headline, collapse incoming. Pope Francis orders Holy See to transfer all assets to the Vatican Bank. Wonder what he's worried about. Russia mobilizes troops and sends nuclear threats. Second set. Economic collapse has arrived in Germany. Will the U.S. be close behind? Well, just take a look at the stock market this week and you may just find some confirmation there. Next headline. Putin announces partial mobilization in Ukraine war escalation. Says West wants to destroy Russia. Well, he may be right there, but that's a sobering sign that he's willing to mobilize troops in his ongoing efforts to take over the Ukraine. Next headline. UN warns of a winter of discontent as the world is in peril. It's just a grim headline from the UN Secretary General Guterres. Next headline, part 3 here. Permanent slavery is just around the corner. Government releases reports on the digital dollar. Yeah, central bank digital currencies. Yeah, I can hardly wait to see what that's going to be like. I'm not even sure how to prepare for that. Next up, another COVID variant just in time for more boosters and autumn. Yep, we got it. It's coming. Yep. Got to do something to keep us all locked down. Got to do something to keep us under the control of the ruling parties here in the great United States. How the government is causing a credit card debt crisis. Well, because we can't get inflation under control, people are using their credit cards for everyday items like food and gas and groceries and all that kind of stuff, and the amount of credit card debt is now at record levels. All this coupled with the militarization of the FBI and the Department of Justice, the Mar-a-Lago raid at Donald Trump's residence looking for a crime, and Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, has just filed a fraud kind of a lawsuit against the Trump organization, Trump himself, Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka. How about that? So it's a family affair. We're under an awful lot of stress and pressure right now from one particular side. I watched Dan Bongino yesterday, terrific interview with an FBI whistleblower, and it's very, very interesting to hear this man's experiences working in the FBI and what he was asked to do, forced to do, and he finally just said, to hell with it, I'm done, I'm leaving. And he got in touch with his representative in Congress and said, I've got some information you need to know. And he started to do just that. Dan interviewed him on his show yesterday, part one. Part two apparently is today. And it's really all one-sided. So everything that the FBI was asking this man to do was contrary to any values that conservatives and Republicans hold dear. And he said, I can't participate in this any longer. What we didn't see, and Dan hasn't asked the question yet, but I expect he will, is there an equivalent on the other side of the aisle? Are there FBI agents being asked to do dastardly deeds and spying on U.S. citizens without their knowledge, creating paperwork and dossiers and histories on people that are considered threats to democracy? Is it happening on the left? Are the FBI agents being asked to do this to folks that are leading the charge on the left-hand side? I don't think so. And I do hope that Dan will ask that question of this man based on his experience, what he's seen, or is it truly, simply one-sided? Now, I said earlier that with this central bank digital currency nonsense that's coming up, and it's apparently already here to some degree, and experiments are going on right now with certain forms of it. But it appears that we're going to be faced with this in reality coming up. And like I said, I don't know how to prepare for this. Do you pull out extraordinary amounts of cash from the banks to try to use that to make your purchases for the future so that you can stay under the radar? That might be the right thing to do right now. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out, but maybe they won't accept cash anymore. Once the federal government issues whatever kind of an edict that they're going to issue about central bank digital currencies, we may not be able to use cash or gold or silver or platinum or any other tradable commodity to make our purchases. So if we can't use cash, and the only way we can access our liquid assets is through a central bank digital currency, and I've even seen some folks saying that it's going to take the form of an intradermal chip that'll be implanted under your skin so that you can be tracked. All your transactions will just be coming right off this chip that's embedded in your arm or your leg or your forehead or wherever it's going to be. It might have a 6 or something on it, who knows. But I see that we're needing to take a second look at how we're going to be prepared for all this. All the headlines that I was talking about early on are leading me to believe that there is something big coming, and it's coming very soon. So all I can do as a prepper is to encourage everybody to make sure that you've got everything in order. You've got your shelter taken care of. You've got your food and water taken care of. You've got your clothing and your vehicles all set. And you've got extra fuel for your vehicles and extra propane and extra butane and charcoal and everything else that you're going to need to cook on. Because I truly suspect that we're going to be facing calamity between now and the end of the year. We'll have to see, but the advice is still solid. This is the Prepared Suburbanite, getting more worried every day and reminding you to be prepared always. And I'll see you all on the next video.